Hi guys, welcome back. Scatlink here, we're off for more Pokemon Go. We're covering the entirety of December because there were a bunch of events that went on. As you can see here, from the 13th of December, we got a notification saying that we're going to get a bunch of events throughout the later half of December. Speaking of which, the first step of these events that actually began was the Defeat Giovanni to save Shadow Zapdos. If we can get up to 6 mysterious components, we'll be able to continue a quest line that is not part of research events, or special research with Professor Willow, unless it unlocks it after we get the 6 items, and then we can get ourselves a Shadow Zapdos. So, as you can see here, this was on the 16th, I defeated a Rocket Grunt, which was my 10th Rocket Grunt, and I got 1 out of 6 mysterious components. I believe this can help with his prototype. Please head out and collect more. So, I have to defeat up to 6 more Rockets, and they will drop a mysterious component each time. The problem is, and the reason why this takes forever to both make progress on the special research event, as well as getting these mysterious components, and just getting Shadow Pokemon in general, which I need a Cubone, which is really annoying. For the most part, when I see a Pokestop spazzing out in the distance and I try to go to it, by the time I reach there, the rocket's gone. So, you can imagine that that's a little bit frustrating, to say the least. Now, on the 21st of December, an update to the game, it's kind of cool, but at the same time it's kind of not. You have to use the AR mode on your buddy in order to feed it berries. It's kind of like Pokemon and Me, or the Pokemon Camp in Gen 7 and 8. It's kind of like that, where you can play with your Pokemon, you can feed it berries, and, you know, bond with it and all that, and they do have the 4 hearts that you would normally have when, you know, trading Pokemon, battling, and giving gifts, in order to build up, like, extra bonuses with that particular Pokemon. The problem is, you have to actually do this in order to walk with them, which before, you just had to, you know, have it as your buddy Pokemon and you can walk with them. So, now you actually have to use berries in order to do something that we could already do. And if you do not give the Pokemon any berries, and that meter at the top there, the one with the berry icon, if it's not full, then walking with that Pokemon doesn't do anything. All you'll be doing is hatching your eggs. You will not be building up your candy with your buddy Pokemon in order to get Pokemon. And that's why I have a Beldum as my buddy, because, you know, I want to get more Beldum candy. That's what I'm focusing on at the moment. Now I have to use berries in order to do it, which is kind of a negative. The positive, however, is like the bonuses that I've said before, which we'll get into in a bit. The 4 hearts that I mentioned. Also, you might notice that there is a new item. Well, I do not have it, but there is a new option for items in the in the food that you can give your Pokemon when you're walking them. That's a Poffin. We'll get into that in a bit as well. Right now, I'm just like giving my Beldum a little bit of a pet on the head there, or a pet on the eyeball. Ah! I accidentally poked him and he whacked me in the face. That's not very nice. And he's knocked me out. With that done, you can take pictures of your Pokemon as well as you could do before. But now they actually follow you on the map screen. So as you see now, when we're walking with your buddy, they have a circle, tutorials at the top of the screen there. As long as that meter is on screen, it has to be full in order for them to actually start walking around. Then you can keep topping it up if you want. But if you haven't fed them any berries, they are not going to be on the map screen. And if they're not on the map screen, they are not going to be building up any mileage. So you will not be actually walking around with them. However, you have now new stats to have a look at here. Look at here's the meter at the bottom here that we usually look at, the candy that we have for the particular Pokemon, and how many kilometers you've walked with it before you earn another candy. As I said before, you have to actually give it berries now in order to for that bar to increase. As you walk, you earn candy for the Pokemon that you've chosen as your buddy. If your buddy is excited, the distance to earn candy will be reduced. So that's a bit of a bonus. If you give it enough berries, you might actually reduce the amount of distance needed to actually get a candy. So that is a plus. You don't have to wait for events in order to gain one of those bonuses for a short amount of time. Adventure together with your buddy. Press play to give treats to your buddy so he can join on your adventures. The more you and your buddy are together, the stronger your bond will grow, as indicated by the 4 hearts I mentioned before, and therefore you get more bonuses. Walking distance, we already know about that. You'll earn a heart for every 2 kilometers you walk with your buddy, up to 3 times a day. Walking distance is counted while your buddy is walking with you on the map. Again, I have to stress, something that you didn't have to, you know, pour any resources into. You just literally walk your Pokemon. You now have to use berries. When your buddy is hungry, give it a treat. You can play with your buddy in AR mode, kind of like Pokemon and Me in Gen 6 and 7, Pokemon Camp in Gen 8, battle together. So obviously you can battle against Team Rocket Go Buddies with your buddy, and then you get additional bonuses. Obviously I wouldn't do that with a Beldum, but you know, the option's there. You can take pictures, of course, and if it's following you, you get even more bonuses with Pokestops and stuff, and obviously bonuses with just building up the meter. So that kind of pretty much covers that. It's pretty much a feature that was already here. It's just been tweaked, changed, and had some new added features, but at the cost of berries, as I've mentioned a bunch of times already. I feel like I'm a broken record now. Now, as you can see here, we're now good buddies. We've now learned 2 perks. This is the perk screen. This shows you the bonuses that you get with the bond that you built, similar to how you have additional bonuses, like you can do more special trades with people that you are better friends with because you've built up the hearts. Same goes for your buddy Pokemon now, and that means every Pokemon now has this stat. So if you've already made progress with your Pokemon before, obviously this is new, so none of this is actually applied to any of your previous buddies, so you might have to do a lot more progress in that. By the way, new stuff in the shop. This is actually the first time I've seen a purchasable trainer box for items, and not just for Pokecoins, so that's a little bit interesting. And of course we have the new item, which is a Poffin, which will immediately max out the food bar, as far as I'm aware, and it will also make them excited, so they have an extended period. Jumping to the 24th of December, a new event went off, but before I could even check that, I noticed that there was a Jingle Bells wearing Stantler as a raid that was level 3, and I was the only one in the area. But guess what? We're having the full thing being shown because I solo this thing. And this is actually part of the new event. There is a December event, which we'll get into in a bit, from the 24th of December, New Year's Eve, to New Year's Eve, pretty much, the final week, the final days of the year, where you're able to catch a possible Jingle Bells shiny Stantler within raids. Sadly, this one isn't shiny, but it does have Jingle Bells, and because I saw that, and it only had a minute left, by the way, I had to hop in quick, and because the time obviously ran out while I was waiting for the 2 minutes to actually get into the raid, no one else could join in anyway. As you can see here, though, I've already knocked out the Stantler halfway with a single Dragonite. And why is it that when I use Dragonites in normal Pokemon games, other than Gen 1, I always struggle to use a Dragonite, despite using it properly, especially in Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, and yet it's like, in this particular game, they're awesome! I mean, I only have 2, because one of the event that we've covered previously, and one because the grind, but you get what I mean, so that's why I only have 2 Dragonites. But they're both pretty good. But then, I obviously didn't want to have any of them knocked out. I wanted to try and do it all solo without having any knockouts. So I switch over to Dialga, and his single attack is so fast, he just continuously buckaroos the Stantler into submission. I only had to use Draco Meteor once, which, by the way, as I've already mentioned, this is my only Dialga, and when I caught it, it had Draco Meteor. So, can't complain about that too much. Knocked out the Stantler, we get a chance to catch it, and we just had slightly over half the time remaining by the time we landed our final hit. Don't know why the clock has to continue ticking down while it's doing its knockout animation, because you could actually get kicked out while that animation's going off, which is really dumb and stupid, and they still haven't fixed that yet. Can you believe this game is still technically in beta? What? I think it's still technically in beta. I don't think it's actually hit a version 1 yet. Now, I'm having a little bit of trouble here trying to actually land my Pokeballs. Every time I let go of the ball, he charges forward. So, I've already given him a berry, so I can't give him a Nana Berry to calm him down. But I get a great smack on the conch, right on the nose, and he breaks out. So, obviously, he did appreciate that. So, you know what? Here's a Golden Raz. Maybe you appreciate that a bit more. And now we try again with another great. Do we catch? And we catch. So, now I have a Jingle Bells wearing Stantler, and they do not evolve, so we don't have to worry about that. It also has Zen Headbutt and Wild Charge, which is an interesting moveset for a Stantler. I mean, I do not use Stantlers, so I didn't even know they could even learn those kind of moves. But this is the event that we've been experiencing with that Shiny Stantler. The Pokemon Go Holidays event is back, but we do not have Santa Hat wearing Pikachus now. As I said, through December 24th to January 1st on the new year, we have Pokemon in holiday costumes will be appearing in the wild, in raids, in eggs, and in field research. Cubchoo and Cragganor are now available. Obviously, Christmas-themed Pokemon like Delibird are available, and they have been turned to Shadows, although I do, funnily enough, bump into a Delibird normally, so you do not have to go for a Shadow one. And if you're lucky, you might encounter a Shiny Stantler wearing bells, as well as Shiny Snova, which I did not find, even though I bumped into quite a few Snovas. And then you got the usual bonuses, twice as many gifts, open twice as many gifts, you can carry twice as many gifts, which I believe is only for this event. You got the double candy and all that. And I actually also got a research breakthrough by getting, 7 in a row. Has nothing to do with this event, but the Pokemon that I bump into is kind of fitting for the time of year. I bump into another Articuno, so it's Christmas, it's winter, that's actually kind of fitting. This was kind of a long, stretched out research breakthrough to get, but I just happened to get it while I was recording for this particular event, and I just happened to bump into a Articuno, so I caught it in one ball. Smugness. it was thematic, it was timing, and you know what, this Articuno is actually going to help us out in one of the special research field missions that we can actually do, that we get from Pokestops during this event. So, as you see here, we're doing a little bit of a cutaway. I spotted in the area a new winter hat wearing Pikachu. It's not Santa hat wearing Pikachus, but they're winter hat wearing Pikachus. It's different Pikachus altogether. But we also bumped into a Cubchoo, which we haven't bumped into before, so I tried to obviously go for a catch here. Of course, I catch it first try because it was super weak. It was only a 43 CP, which is why I used the Pinat Berry on it to get a bit of extra candy. And yeah, so now we have Cubchoo, but it is a weak one, and I transfer it because I actually haven't got a lot of storage. Yeah, off screen I boost up my storage because I realised I had enough coins in order to do so. I'm surrounded by Totodiles as well, which I can never seem to get away from because it's the only community day I've really knuckled down on and got shinies for all the evolution chain of was Totodile. Now, I haven't got a Girafarig, but I wasn't paying attention, so I did not catch one of those, so I'm a moron. But I bumped into another Cubchoo, which was, I believe, not on the map. I mean, the first one I bumped into was not on the wild radar, I guess you can call it, nearby Pokemon. This one was, but I wasn't aiming for this one. I forgot this one was here, but it's a much more powerful one, so maybe it was a good thing that I transferred the first one that I caught, because I've got a lot of candy for that one. I've got an additional candy, and now I'm going to catch this one, so I can get even more candy, and now I actually have a usable Cubchoo. Obviously, I've got to evolve it at some point, which I haven't done because I haven't actually bumped into any more since. But I pretty much covered the entirety of this event on this one day, so I haven't really got a lot to worry about. So, I'm doing a bit of a cutaway here because I actually had to empty out some Pokemon and then expand my storage. I can then go for a Pikachu catch here, but then I maxed out on memory because I forgot to optimize my phone before recording, hence why there was a cutaway there. Luckily the Pikachu didn't run away, so I could still able to catch it, and it didn't run away upon breakout here, so I was still able to try, which I'm very thankful for, because otherwise I would have been mad. Especially since in the previous event, I believe, there was a different type of Pikachu, or a different type of Pokemon that was, I forget if it was Eevee or Pikachu or another Pokemon that was themed for a certain event, and I couldn't catch it. Couldn't remember, but I've got this Pikachu. Now I need another one in order to evolve it into a Winter Hat wearing Raichu. I think there was a Winter Eevee as well. It wasn't mentioned in the update news notes in the game itself, but I think there is actually one if you read the big blog online, which the first one told you about. Anyway, disregarding the Snova, what I'm actually popping into here is that I completed one of the ice capturing holiday events from today, but obviously I've already done my research for today, as you saw with the breakthrough, so I'm not going to get a stamp for that. However, as you saw on that previous screen for a second, now another holiday event is to take a picture, or take 5 pictures of Ice-type Pokemon. You can actually take 5 pictures of the same Pokemon, which I do right here. As I said, I'm using the Articuno to my benefit. I told you it was going to help us during this event. so I was able to go actually clear another event because I wasn't actually paying attention to capturing 5 ice types to get that one. This one's taking a picture of 5 ice types. As I said with the, as you also saw on the screen here, the Halloween, take 5 snapshots of Ghost-type Pokemon. Never actually did that, but I did actually do that off-screen, and you'll see why in a minute, because something that happened reminded me. And doing this, taking 5 pictures of Ice-type Pokemon, gave me yet another Cubchoo! So I cannot really complain about getting a bunch of Cubchoo all at once. I wasn't expecting the Articuno, I wasn't expecting the Articuno to actually be helpful, and I wasn't expecting to get multiple Cubchoo, considering that, you know, I haven't been bombing into anything. And then, out of nowhere, a Rocket Grunt just decided to appear pretty much where I caught the Pikachu, and he's surrounded by Pokemon, which I do catch off-screen as well. But because I didn't leave in the first Rocket battle that I got the Mysterious Component in, because I completely forgot about it, I've read the news after getting the Mysterious Component to find out what was going on, because I'm a bit behind in terms of news, but now I'm caught up again. I thought I would show this battle off, and plus I haven't actually fought a Rocket using Ghost types, and this guy has a Shuppet. And this is what I meant by reminding me of taking 5 snapshots of Ghost type Pokemon. He has a Ghost type team, and that means the Pokemon I'm going to be capturing is one of his 3 Pokemon in order to purify, because it's a Shadow Pokemon. And here's the thing that still baffles me in Pokemon Go. It doesn't matter if it's supposed to, like, if an attack like normal on Ghost is supposed to be no effect. Still not very effective, but it did half its health. I mean, it's got more CP than my Dragonite, but I guess my Dragonite just has better stats. I mean, I do not know all the competitive intricacies of Go. I mostly play it to catch Pokemon, because that's the whole point, really. But it's nice that they've still added battles. We haven't done many battles on this game, so it's good to show a couple of battles when we actually do have them. So there we go, that's yet our 11th Rocket beaten. It's kind of nice I can tell you how many Rockets I've actually beaten. As you saw there, we got the another Mysterious Component panel, so that's now 2 of 6. And we have 7 Pokeballs in order to catch this Shuppet. Sadly does a flip, so he dodges my attack. Try a somersault! Now, okay, that berry didn't even hit him. That ball barely did. He kind of segued into it. By the way, I gave him a raspberry there. Still, like, very dark red circle. I mean, I gave him a golden raz. It only just then got to a better colour. Not really much I can do to heighten the fact that this is a Shadow Pokemon I can catch. And I don't think I mentioned this, but they are Shadow Pokemon which, you know, first debuted in Pokemon Colosseum. They were owned by trainers, and obviously these Rockets own these Pokemon. The only way that we can actually catch these is because the Rockets release the Pokemon when they lose, because they're such sore losers. They do not like their artificially powered up Pokemon. That's why we don't have to catch them with a snag machine. And I didn't actually realise that. I was always wondering, why can we catch these? I do not have a snag machine. But that's how. They release the Pokemon after they lose. So we got that thing, that Mysterious Component, and I was going to finish off by going back to my car, but then I realised that there was a Virizion there that I can't battle or catch because there's no one around, so that's a problem. But out of nowhere, another Winter Hat wearing Pikachu showed up. So I was able to catch this one. And if I do catch this one, I would then be able to evolve it into a Winter Hat wearing Raichu. And then, other than the Pichus that I can never ever hatch during events, because, you know, you have to hope that it's a Pichu, and then you have to hope that it's wearing a hat, I've got the whole evolutionary line in the Winter Hat format. So we evolved this thing, and that is pretty much how we're going to be finishing off this event, this particular day. This all happened on the 24th, by the way, and this goes into New Year, but I haven't bombed in anything new, and I pretty much covered everything up to this point. So, guys, after catching up with this, and it's actually being released during the event as well, so now you guys are up to date as well, so you still have some time to actually do it. I'll see you guys for whatever we do next on the channel, or on Pokemon Go. See you guys then.